What the fuck was this? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I heard Kenobi was coming out, I was very excited. I didn't really care for The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett because I'm just more into the Jedis and the Siths and lightsaber battles versus dealing with the Republic Empire bullshit and just blasters everywhere. So when I heard Kenobi was coming out, I was stoked. I was like, let's do it. Have some lightsaber battles. We're gonna see what he's been doing, between the events of episode 3 and 4. And it's just, it wasn't that. All right. The season finale now that just came ended pretty much how the show should have began, with Obi-Wan speaking to Qui-Gon's ghost and then going out to learn about the Force and shit. It should have started like that. It should have started with Obi-Wan already talking to Qui-Gon, already, feeling guilty for what had happened, but still being strong enough to continue moving forward. This whole show just completely castrated Obi-Wan Kenobi. And for articles to come out saying, Hayden Christensen and Obi-Wan want to make more Star Wars, but simultaneously Kenobi is not a good show because it has too much fucking Kenobi. It just doesn't make any sense. People, make up your damn mind. We wanted this show because we wanted Kenobi. We didn't want this show to bring in other characters and to discuss shit that we didn't care about. I mean, I'm sorry, but Reva was a horribly written character. Tala was a horribly written character. I mean, you're telling me if Vader was able to tell that Reva was betraying him the entire time, you're telling me he didn't know that Tala was also betraying the Empire the entire time? I mean, excuse me. Come on now. That's a little much. And the fact that, of course, the only person who actually perishes is Tala was also kind of bullshit, because Reva got stabbed twice, as a kid and as an adult, and she just didn't die. Obi-Wan could have been killed by Darth Vader when he crushed him on top of the rocks. I don't see why he couldn't have just squeezed him until he popped and then walked away. And then when Obi-Wan had pretty much had Vader on his knees, he also walked away. I mean, fuck off, show. Come on. No one was harmed in the making of this show except for the poor innocent people that Reva killed and injured and mutilated along her journey to get revenge on the man who killed her friends. Come on. It was so nonsense. It's like you're becoming a mass shooter because, because the person in that, you're going to shoot up a hospital or some stupid shit because the person that harmed your family is in that hospital, but you don't care about anyone else that has to die. It was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. And for the ending, for her to go and not kill Luke because she saw herself in Luke and that she saw herself as Vader or Anakin, it's what, you never thought about that when you were going up the ranks of the Inquisitors? You didn't feel that when you felt like you needed to act like a hard ass to get, in the good ranks of the Empire? You never felt like that when you first initially, left the temple realizing that you were alone? I mean, come on. That's what the Ahsoka show is going to do. I know the Ahsoka show is going to also follow after the events of Order 66, but it's going to deal with the actual things that went down with Jedis probably and other Siths or whatever, trying to find them and stuff. That's what this show probably wanted to be, but then it turned into I think Kenobi wanted to become that, where it's let's see what happens with the other Jedis, but unfortunately then all we got was the Leia show, and having Kamul Nanjiani, stupid Eternal guy, just being I know the word of a fake Jedi and a liar isn't much to anybody, and then Obi-Wan's it's enough for me. It's that's what this show is pretty much. A bunch of fake ass Jedis, a bunch of fake ass Siths that don't know. I mean, the dark side is pretty much a fucking sack of potatoes. You can be good one minute, you can be bad the next. I thought it was the best when Palpatine at the end was Vader, you seem to be feeling emotions, and then Vader's nah, master. And then it zooms out and he's sitting there on his little hot ass planet, just no TV, no Netflix, no homies to chill with. He's just sitting there by himself. But yeah, this show was whack. I was very disappointed. There's so much shit you can just go on about this show that was bad, between the ships not being able to have a good targeting system, to no one remembering that they have a bunch of fucking TIE fighters on board their ships, to Vader being, I guess, emotionally not quite able to accept the fact that he's a Sith Lord now, and Obi-Wan just being, basically basically boring. You know, I mean, the whole beginning of the show, best part of the whole show was when Organa tells him that Leia's kidnapped, and he goes, "I can't help," and like goes back to work, works for a whole day. I mean, granted, Leia wasn't even touched or harmed in that time, but it's like, bro, she could have died, and you would have just been like fine about it. And then at the end, when he force senses that Luke's in trouble, it's like, wow, man, good thing that force sense works, because you couldn't tell shit when Leia was kidnapped. But you know, whatever. And then I guess the last thing I'll say is all the lightsaber battles were pretty shit. They were like, it was like dancing, more or less, like to the death lightsaber battles. But I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so Kenobi was pretty shit. I guess we'll have to see if they even decide to make a season 2, because I don't know what they could possibly add to it to make it even worth watching. But I have a little plot twist from myself that I had thought, where what if fucking Reva becomes Finn's mom, right? Because Finn was a black stormtrooper. It makes sense that Reva for some way ends up having a kid later, because she knows all this shit. And the black, we'll just say, I think his name was Roku, the Amazon stick guy, Ice Cube's son. He ends up being the husband, so they're gonna get together at some point, have little baby Finn, and then boom, Reva's the mom of Finn. She fits into the lore, totally works. Let's rewrite Star Wars. We'll rewrite it. It'll be fine. Shit, she actually might be Rey's. Oh no, that's Palpatine. I forgot. I was like, maybe she dated a white man and then gave birth to Rey, but I forgot that was like all Palpatine or whatever. But hey, I guess in that case we could still call her Reva Skywalker, because, you know, again, let's just rewrite the lore. We'll change everything up. It'll be fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Andor show isn't going to be any better, you know. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. I know there's a whole slate of shit to come out soon, so brace yourselves, everybody. The Force is with us. Always.